Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Walgreens Exclusive Supervillains Jigsaw. So this figure, before we get into it, I got from Star Action Figures in the UK. They are, as far as I know, they're like the only UK retailer that will actually ship to the US. It can get pricey when doing international shipping and all of that, so we do like a group order with a bunch of buddies. I have a couple local guys, you know, in the Wade crew. We put in these bulk orders, and you know, you break down the costs and stuff. It ends up being quite a bit cheaper, and you get it so much sooner than Walgreens would here in the US, because we don't know what's going on with Walgreens. So I hear the toy buyer for Walgreens used to be was a collector, and then he no longer is with Walgreens, so things seem kind of weird. Like there's like 9 Walgreens in my town. Half of them stopped carrying figures, the other half still does, but it's been really weird. Like I still never saw Quasar in stores, and I never saw Binary in stores. I did see Nova last year, but that was it. So it's been insane. I have to resort to really importing these in. But it's been working out really well, and I'm happy to have Jigsaw because this thing looks crazy. He's got some really cool accessories, so I'm really excited about that. Looking at the side artwork, that's nuts. That that is just crazy. Look how great it looks. I mean, the suit, the white suit, you got all the way that the artwork makes it look. It's crazy. Looking at the back, we get that same artwork. It's just kind of opposite side there. The bio for Jigsaw reads, Jigsaw is a criminal with heart as twisted and gruesome as his once beautiful face. So Billy Russo, of course, he is a villain to Frank Castle, the Punisher. So I will do a comparison. You will see a couple of different Frank Castle Punisher figures here, including the Riders. So we've got a lot of Frank Castle figures, haven't we? We got this one, plus there was a vintage. That's the Walgreens exclusive, plus a vintage. There's that one. And then the Riders, that's 4. And then technically Cosmic Ghost Rider would be Frank Castle. We also have the War Machine Punisher figure, and there is the Netflix one, of course, too. But I will do a comparison with these Punishers at least, so you can see how Jigsaw is going to look. My fear is that with the suited body tends to be a little bit smaller, that he's going to look kind of tiny next to Punisher. So it's just really going to depend on, you know, how you're going to display it if you get into certain poses and things like that to really kind of help along the way with how he's going to look. But anyway, let's get Jigsaw out of the package. We'll take a look at those accessories and the incredible head sculpt that Hasbro did on this. The digital print works perfectly for something like this. So let's check it out. Okay, so I wanted to start off with a close-up shot of Jigsaw's face, because holy hell, this one may be one of the best head sculpts that Hasbro has done for the Marvel Legends line, because just look at that. It is just like nasty, crazy detailed. Look at all those staples and everything in his face, the stitches, the scarring. Just crazy. I mean, look at that. Incredible. And it's all done with the digital print, so including the teeth and the eyes. You can see the bloodshot redness in his eyes. Just crazy. I mean, look at the scarring. Just looks incredible. And like, here's the other thing. Look at the scar in the hair right there. You can see a little bit of red in that scar there too. Crazy, right? But look at this. In the back of the head too, like, when the figure was announced, they never show like a back of a figure or anything. Look at that scar in the back of his head. Something completely nobody would think of. Nobody would have ever really paid attention to the back. But look at that. That's incredible. Crazy, crazy detail. That is just awesome. So again, this is easily one of the best head sculpts that Hasbro has ever done for a Marvel Legends figure, because this just looks absolutely incredible. The downfall to this figure is the suited body just isn't the greatest. It's not terrible, and this one is certainly better than the original suited body that they did, which was like the Coulson body or the Chameleon body. This is the young Nick Fury body, so he's got like the thicker legs and stuff. And these arms and shoulders look pretty good, unlike the Mr. Knight figure, where it looks like it got the older arms. This one looks to have the kind of the newer one, so it does look a little bit better. But yeah, just, man, really, really incredible. I know I'm spending a lot of time in this head sculpt, but goddamn, look at how good that looks. I mean, it's ugly. It's ugly as hell. But man, it came out looking great. Holy hell. Yeah, That is absolutely fantastic. The rest of the figure, though, not a whole lot going on. He's got black shoes, a little bit of black buttons there on his sleeves, black handkerchief, black buttons on the vest, black buttons on the coat. But this is like a fashion faux pas or whatever, right? You don't do that. The tie is showing under the vest. I know there's no real easy fix for that other than having, you know, not a full tie. Just thought I'd point that out. I thought it was interesting. I'm like, wait a second. That doesn't look right. I'm not really sure what this neck piece is. It's kind of interesting. It looks like it may have, I don't know if those are supposed to be like bullet holes right there, but that's kind of interesting looking. Or maybe not, since I guess it's on both sides. It could be like the bolts or rivets or something that's kind of holding that piece together. But it looks pretty good, and as you can see, it really fits his jawline there. So pretty cool. But yeah, that just looks incredible. And he's got really cool accessories too. So let's take a look at those accessories now. Okay, accessory number 1, we have a machete, which is really cool. So it has that like very classic look. We have black handle, you know, right here, and then silver, like the rivet parts that hold that handle to the blade. And we get a nice silver metallic paint, not silver cheap ass plastic that I absolutely hate. We get a nice silver paint on there for the blade, and that looks really, 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 really good. Kind of hate that there's a number there, like 4. Why did they have to put that into the molding, right? But that looks incredible. So we have the machete. We have a baseball bat. The baseball bat, unlike the cheap-ass looking one that came with the Rider's Punisher, I don't have it out with me, but that bat was cheap as hell. They didn't even put like the wood grain into the sculpt of it. This one doesn't either, but this one you could just say it's a metal bat. Because look, silver metallic paint, black for the handle portion, but the rest is painted silver. It's not cheap-ass like gray, shiny gray plastic. It is painted silver, and it looks incredible. So we have the baseball bat. So that is 2. We get 2 more accessories here. We get knives. These knives look good. Black hilt, silver painted blade. Not cheap looking at all. Silver blade. And that looks really, really good. A little bit of serrated edge there. These 2 are the same, so that is awesome. So that is 3 and 4 as far as the accessories. Number 5 is the shotgun. This is like the sawed-off shotgun there. Silver paint on this guy, so that looks really good. Black handle, black pump. Now, I mean, I guess it could be wrong. I believe when I reviewed the Punisher figure, because he has the same shotgun, people were mentioning, you know, the pump wouldn't make sense. Or is that even a pump? I don't know guns. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments below. But it looks pretty good because I really like the silver paint. Now, this is number 5. Number 6 and 7, check this out. We get the little muzzle flare pieces, which, you know, I don't think you wouldn't do 2 at the same time, right? So I don't know why we have 2. But we got 2. He doesn't have a handgun or anything, but you can use these on other weapons from different Marvel Legends figures or even maybe across brands. So let's see. I have a G.I. Joe gun right here. Doesn't quite port into that one. So that's too bad. I have this other G.I. Joe gun. Yeah, that doesn't port in either. So maybe it won't work with other lines. So not with G.I. Joe guns that I have with me, but we have that. So you can't use the 2 for the barrel of the shotgun, but we also have 2 smoke effects, and these aren't just like translucent clear plastic like the ones that we had gotten before. Look at that. There's a little bit of smokiness to them, so a little bit of black paint added in there to actually really give it a smoke look. That is pretty damn cool. Now this, I think you can have these in both barrels at the same time, and that could work. Might look, I guess that kind of looks a little bit funny, but you could do that because they are the 2 different types, and I think we saw these first with some of the Black Widow figures, so you could do that with the shotgun, and that could work really well. You know what, the more that I look at this shotgun, I'm trying to think, now this might actually be the silver plastic and not silver paint, now that I'm looking at it. And for some reason it actually kind of works on the shotgun. Maybe because it's so thick you don't see, it doesn't seem translucent, but yeah, that's really good. Or you could just do it on one, and that looks really good there. So those are all the accessories that come with Jigsaw, which is awesome. Now, he can't really store anything, but you could just kind of put some of these weapons in his hands and things like that. So we get one trigger finger, and that's going to be for the right. The left is just a regular open holding hand, so you could use that for the knives, or you could use that for the bat or the machete, and that works there. Okay, so let's take a look at Jigsaw's articulation. So looking down is going to be a little bit of a problem because of that collar piece. Looking up, not so much. It is on a ball hinge. But when you look at it, it almost, the neck, the head does look like it's a little too damn high on that neck. So that is unfortunate. You get some pivot going on in there. You get a full rotation. Of course, the shoulders, you can get the arms to go up, straight out, like so. Full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow like so. Wrists swivel, and they do have the vertical hinge on both of them, which is great for wielding weapons and like swinging bats and knives and things like that. So we get the correct hinge on these hands, so that works out really well. There is an ab crunch in here, but guess what? With the coat overlay and everything, you're not going to get any use out of it, so there's really no point in trying. Full waist swivel, of course. Legs go out that far apart, and some of that is because of the jacket. It kind of gets in the way, and there's just really no give to the jacket. Leg, you can kick the legs forward that much. They don't really go back. You have an upper thigh cut in here. Double jointed knee, like so. There's no boot swivel or calf swivel or anything like that, of course. There is a swivel at the ankle. You get some hinge down. You get a tiny bit of hinge up. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, but if you notice where the peg hole is closer to the toes. One thing that I'm looking at with this figure, and I don't know, I'd have to double check, but I wonder if it has the older hip piece, because these thighs seem a little bit bigger than these hip pieces there. It's really noticeable when you're turning the leg and stuff. It just doesn't quite look right. So I'm going to have to kind of go back and see how some of those other figures are like that, but it just doesn't look right, and it seems like the hip piece is maybe the smaller version there. So Jigsaw isn't going to be the most dynamically posed figure, but his accessories and things like that, I think, kind of make up for that, and I'm sure certain poses could work out really well if you have them up against the Punisher. So I know it's been brought up before, I think when the figure was first announced as well, but the collar piece does come off. It is just, you know, cheap, like thin rubber. You can kind of move it around there, and you can kind of just display it like that. That really isn't so much an issue. Looking straight on, it doesn't really look too bad. From the side, it's actually not terrible, but I mean, you could see that the head is slightly higher on that neck peg. And then one thing there, it seems like there's some weird cap with the collar. You know, he's got a very small neck to where the jacket just doesn't come around the neck as much, and that's because, you know, without the collar piece, it just looks a little off. But you could absolutely have this look if that's kind of how you prefer it. But I think I'm going to throw the collar piece back on there because I don't mind it. I kind of like the way it looks. But so you can do it. Let me brighten some things up a little bit here. So here we have all the different Punisher figures next to Jigsaw. So they're all going to be extremely larger than Jigsaw because all of these other bodies are just naturally bigger than the suited body. Whereas the suited body, you know, first with the young Nick Fury figure from Captain Marvel, the MCU figure, you know, the MCU figures tend to run a little bit smaller than comic-based figures. So that's one of the tricky things that I think we get into. This figure could have benefited from the Hammerhead, or I guess, would Hammerhead be first? No, Hammerhead wouldn't be first. The Happy Hogan body could probably work out a little bit better. I think it's a little bit bulkier. Kind of might fit with comic figures a little bit more, in my opinion. So, you know, that could have really worked out well, but, you know, with that being a darker suit, it's probably a little tough to have that look. But, you know, Jigsaw with Punisher. Yeah, maybe not. The head actually does pop on there. The skin tones aren't going to match. But no, I guess it doesn't. It doesn't really look right. I think size-wise kind of does work, but no, I don't really recommend it. I don't think it looks good. Okay, so something I don't normally do is some head swaps. Now, I know Toy Biz did a 2-pack where it was a Punisher Jigsaw, but one of them, I think, the Punisher body had the Jigsaw head, and I know Jigsaw's worn the costume in the comics. It's let's see if the heads swap. Yeah, I guess technically, but you know, that ain't, no, that don't really work. But you know, if you can make some adjustments or drill deeper into that head sculpt, you could probably make that work. But that's, yeah, that's kind of scary and ugly looking. Okay, so that is my review of the Jigsaw figure. Accessories are awesome. The head sculpt is absolutely amazing. The body itself, I'm just not the biggest fan of these suited bodies because they become limited in articulation. With the vest and jacket overlay, you can't work the ab or anything. And he just looks really small compared to Punisher, which sucks. But you can do some really cool things. Like right here, I try to experiment with some photography stuff. It's difficult for me because I don't get the creative ideas a lot of the times. When I do, I try to make something work, and sometimes it can come off nice, sometimes not. Hopefully this is kind of decent. This is probably going to be the thumbnail. But it's still a very good release, and I do highly recommend it. With Walgreens, what's tough is, you know, maybe you don't want it now, but if you want it later, there's like no chance of getting Walgreens exclusives, and they're going to go, you know, for higher on the aftermarket. You know, so I'm assuming at some point Walgreens.com will have it available. I say put in an order right away. The accessories alone are just really cool, and the head sculpt, you know. And then if you don't want it now, you want it later, you're not going to be able to get it and pay a lot more. So I just recommend, you know, the first it becomes available, put in your order. That's why I import these in. I don't want to wait. I don't know what's going to happen with Walgreens exclusives. You know, when does it go online? Will it sell out super fast? So I'd rather just get it early and have it imported in. But I'm very happy with it. You guys let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this Jigsaw figure? Is it one that you're going to be picking up? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.